Polish your piece. Masterpiece, then write a masterpiece. Deep breath and release. So all you need is depth, breath, and belief to polish your piece. Writers, readers, and in-betweeners, we are back, and we got something in store for y'all today. Listen, we are so thankful. Today is going to be the wrap-up podcast for season 1.
Let's wrap it up.
Season 1.
Season 1, we done.
Look, I am DevRock, and you know I got with me today DA Truth, DA Poet.
What's up, good people? You know we in the building together.
And listen, let's get it started. Tell me what the number one ground rule is.
Y'all already know the number one rule is love. When we have love, we got everything great, no hate. So please bring all your peace and all your good energy, because that's all we need to succeed, bro.
And look, yeah, we only got 2 other rules.
Okay, break them down.
All right. The first one is that this is a community of all types of writers. All right. So please be in your writing bag. If you in the comment section, if you sending us a note, if you posting, tagging, liking, sharing, get exquisite with that thing. You know what I'm saying? Be persnickety about your vernacular.
Persnickety?
You know what I mean? Yeah.
That's a new word. Okay.
And, well, I just brought it out.
Okay, all right. Because I never.
We got Orville in here. We got to act right.
You got the persnickety, but I never heard of it.
So, and then, listen, please participate. This is not a community if y'all don't participate. So whether it's a comment, a share, a like, even if you send me or Truth a message, even if you send our guest today a message, participate. And that's how we grow and we able to be together and be with one another in this space. Hey, I'm excited.
I'm excited too. We got one of the big dogs in the building.
Oh, yeah, big dogs.
Big dogs in the building. For the DMV, I'm gonna say East Coast arena, or just poetry in general. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, don't get shy on me now, bro. Don't get shy on me now. So I'm about to introduce this brother real quick.
Please do.
Who we have in the building with us is somebody that I've been watching for years grow and just become tremendously successful. They have curated, like I said, one of the biggest poetry platforms here over on the East Coast, and that's because I really don't have nothing to compare it to over the west side of this country, called Pure Poetry Live. He also has Back to the Basics. He is a poet himself, hip hop artist as well, and he just does a whole lot for the arts community. He's spoken at Wizards games, there we go, and been on the news and things of that nature. So he's just a strong representation of how to do it right, of how to do poetry and be a successful artist and curator the right way. And we're so proud to have Orville the poet, everybody.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Yeah, man. It's amazing to have you. So we're gonna jump right into this interview thing. You ready for all these questions?
I'm ready.
For us to bombard you. So I'm gonna let my road dog right here start us off with the first question for this evening.
Well, look, man, we so appreciative to be able to have you. One of the things we like to do to make it that we're being unique and providing something for our listeners and our watchers is to really get in the bag of the person who's coming. And when we look at you, we see you not only as a poet, but as one of the smartest businessmen of, this thing here, and probably one of the kings of events. So, we want to give you flowers. Pure Poetry Live, 12 years?
12 years, man.
12 years, man.
12 years, bro.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
How did you make it 12 years?
Man, first and foremost, not alone. you know, a lot of the flowers go to my team, specifically my business partners. They trusted my vision, man. 12 years ago, um, I had a vision, and I love poetry. I love spoken word, and I would go to. So real quick, I went to events for about 2.5, 3 years before I shared any poetry at any event. Just like soaking up and learning. Like, okay, man, people love this type of art, but what do you feel like you can offer different than what you've heard? Um, so first I had to really grow in my art. Um, Secondly, I had to grow as a person. Uh, I felt like early on I was having visions that I knew I wasn't capable of walking in as of yet. Like, you're not that responsible. You're not yet that disciplined.
Right.
You you don't have that skill set yet. So I went and got those people that had that. And again, shout out to Lance, shout out to Tim, my business partners. Man, it's stronger together. We're all three black men. Um, Everyone on my team is black men. Shout out the whole team too. Shout out to Mike Even from Be
Yeah.
More.
We
Shout
love
out
Mike.
to Zakia, to Jamal, to E Baby, to man, I don't want to forget nobody. Shout out to Adrian. Shout out to Life. Shout out to Ant. Yeah, man, the team is strong. So 12 years with committed folk like you, that believe in your vision. Absolutely.
So,
That's how.
so how now we hear a lot about this team. There's two things I picked up from what you just said. One was a lot of accountability and being a student of the game. Like you said, you were a student first. You for 2 years you just studied, which is phenomenal. A lot of people want that instant gratification, want to come out the gate being amazing and great. And you sat there and learned for about 2 years. And then you also took accountability. You said, "Hey, I'm not really at the top of this level here yet. Let me work on that." I'm even to the maturity level, which I think that is key. A lot of things people should take into consideration when you're on this journey, how to be accountable for where you are in life. But then about your team. Now, it's not easy to build a team. I've been a loner for a long time. You come with people along the way, and it's like hard to build
Hmm.
this team of yours. Like, what was the process for you? And like, what things would you say, or what qualities did you look for in the team member? I know you mentioned one thing was they shared your vision, they believed in your vision. But outside of that, what are some like core qualities of your team members do you think you really had to like seek out in order for them to be who they are?
That's a great question. And I have a great answer.
Ooh.
And it's something that we really don't think about first in a lot of things,
Mm,
but really ends up being everything in a lot of things.
mm.
I sought out everyone on my team that our morals align.
Let's go. Okay.
Because when your morals align, I
Mm-hmm.
found that most discrepancies or maybe idiosyncrasies could be resolved with a conversation.
Absolutely.
But if your morals don't align, then now you've potentially put yourself with a person that could take away from and not add to. So
Mm.
morals align
Morals
is a
align.
big thing. Also, I look for, work ethic.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and oftentimes in companies, there's a lot of redundancies you could teach people.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can give you this skill set, but I can't and don't have the time to teach you a mindset. So natural work ethic is also something I look for.
Mm-hmm.
How much do you do without being told what to do? How much do you do, when we're not looking, when we're not meeting, when we're not, do you have new ideas?
Right.
And what you do with the direction you're given, you know? A lot of people in a lot of different places started at the mailroom, but because they was like, you know what, I'm gonna alphabetize all the mail, and I know these people on the 6th floor like candy. I'm gonna put a piece of candy with each. Those are the people, yeah,
Right.
that work ethic. That's
Okay.
definitely something I look for as well.
That's what's up.
So sometimes when people say team, there's confusion to audience members or whatever. Do you mean team as in like you're Little Wayne and you have a manager, you know what I'm saying, a show manager, or do you mean team like equal partners? So, and sometimes it's both. But for the sake of really getting granular and allowing people to understand,
Mhm.
I know it was your vision. So are you the CEO? Is everybody else working under you? Are they getting paid? And answer what's cool to answer and don't answer what's not.
Nah, this is cool because we need a lot more of this sometimes as specifically in poetry,
Yeah.
but then as black business owners as well. You
Facts.
know what I
Absolutely.
mean? Like I like what you said, like, yo, let's break this thing team down because a lot of people get confused when they hear that. So when I say team and business partners, I mean equal partners. Myself, my man Lance, and my guy Tim, we are equal partners. We run the company, and everyone else I name, yes, they do work for us, but working with and doing the thing you love, it's not just you're a contractor; it's you're part of a team because we
Right.
all have a vision. When you're just a worker, it's because you are there to just get a check. You don't really believe fully in the vision that you're working in. But when you're part of a team, I believe that you are working in a vision that you support. So I think that's a big difference too. And then articulation and the language I'm using. You don't hear anything about me. You don't hear anything about who's in charge. You just hear about a vision being pushed forward. So,
Yeah. And I love that when you do address, I think any time that I've seen you address pure poetry or you have accepted accolades or anything, awards, you've done that with your team. Even receiving the award for having the best event, you called up the team. It wasn't just you taking the award. And I think that is very powerful to see that, one, you are a great example. Y'all are a great example that a team can be successful. And for all of those who are out there asking, why I don't feel like a team member, take all of his notes into consideration. You know what I mean? Are you just a worker? Or do you really want to be a part of the vision? Are you there to just serve your own purpose? Or
mm,
are you there to serve the purpose of everyone there?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
When you at the event, are you watching? You seeing what everybody got going on? Thinking about new ways to make sure that we all win? Or do you let little stuff that you see slide past you, something that you could fix by saying something?
Mm, mm,
Because that'll let you know if you on the team or if you work for us.
mm,
You know what I'm
That
saying? You know,
part.
mm,
because somebody who on the team be like, hey, look, it's these young ladies, they come in here every time. They be talking through the joints. If the host would just say, like, hey, such and such, talk or don't talk or give some parameters, this would make the event better. You probably work with us.
Right.
And don't be the person that was like, yeah, they came in here every week. I seen them talking. I knew it was gonna be a fight.
Right, right.
Then you work for us.
mindset.
Right,
There's
mindset.
clear difference in
Simple.
mindset. Yeah.
That's what's up.
So look, what would you say are the stepping stones to longevity?
Oh boy, I was going be right here.
Because I know it
Be
just
here.
wasn't like we're gonna do this for 100 years. What are the stepping stones for you in your mind?
So the stepping stones, first, you gotta see it. You gotta see it. Before anybody else see it, you gotta see it. I promise you. Man, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna get to it. A lot of people ask me, man, you ain't see this. You ain't see this shit back then. I'm like, you wanna know the truth? I did.
Right.
I did. And I would talk to my parents about it, and they thought I was crazy, like real live. And it was like, my mom was like, yeah, but you gonna go to school though.
Right.
You need to go to school. My dad was like, you better go to school. And it was like, I was in school. I remember going to PG college for a year. I was getting pretty decent grades. But I remember being in like calculus class, and like, I feel like the spirit hit me. I just rose my hands like, hey, show me why I can use this like today. It got quiet just like that. And I was like, that's what I thought. Hey, y'all holler at me if you want to buy my book. And I was done with school. Like, I was like, man, I know what I want to do. And man, I felt great until I went home and told my mom. She was like, you're done. Oh, congrats. You was in an accelerator program. I was like, nah, Mom, I'm done. She was like, okay. Well, you better treat whatever it is you think you about to do like a job. And that's exactly what she held me to, man. I immediately, whatever I was contributing to the household, she doubled or tripled it to as if I was out on my own, right? So I learned early, hey, if this is what you want to do for your bread and butter, it has to at least bring in this amount of money, because you are a man, and one day you're gonna have responsibilities that of such. So you need to be able to provide. So early on, man, she pushed me into that. So I would dream, man. I would dream with this thing.
So now for all of our entrepreneurial spirits, I just want to know, are you fully in control of your day to day? Like, do you work for anybody else? Does the events that you do and the poetry and the books and all of that, does that provide for all of your responsibilities?
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. I still also have 2 other careers outside of the art and stuff you see me doing. I work in fine art. I'm a museum specialist, which is a fancy word for I install exhibitions in museums. And I also work with my hands, painting, different projects and stuff with my dad, things on my own. You know what I mean? I'm good with my hands too. So, and I'm Caribbean, so I got about a few other skills, you know what I mean, under my belt, dog. Like, that stereotype is for real.
And where they from? Where the family
Jamaica.
from? Jamaica.
Yeah, we get to the bread, bro. It's no lazy bone in my body, bro.
Right.
Don't matter what, like, we doing it. Like, cutting grass, we got you.
Right.
Don't matter, bro. Yeah, so.
So we were talking about the stepping stones, the success of longevity, right? Mm-hmm. So we the first one was seeing it. And what else do we got as far as the stepping stones? This is for, and what I want to make this clear is because the people who are out here watching are our future curators, are people who are interested in being curators and would need to know and understand the process.
Struggling
for
right
all
now,
those people who are out here, who are out struggling curators and got the process twisted. Here's some clarification by somebody who's very successful in what he does. So
I'm also taking notes.
Yeah, as we all should.
Yeah, so definitely you seeing it and believing in it, right? And writing it down. Writing it down.
Why is writing it down so important?
Writing it down is so important because so when you think something and you write it down and you read it, now that's 3 different receptors where you can internalize it more, right? And that's a process I use for memorizing my poetry and my art.
Gotcha.
Same thing, thinking it, writing it down, reading it, then playing it. And then writing it in places where you can see it every day.
Right.
Like, post a note on your mirror. I'm gonna get to da 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 da.
The affirmation, making it the affirmation, affirming it. Okay.
Absolutely. So that's a very important step.
Okay.
And then it's a lot of times we think we have to go and find that person that is really, 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 really good at that thing we think we need. When really a lot of times it's tapping and activating that person you already know in your circle. Right? So I would say the next step is really thinking about who you have around you and who is probably already excited about that thing you need.
Right.
A good friend of mine loves being a DJ, loved music, but he never really DJ'd professionally. You know who that DJ is? Zeus Bonner,
Wow.
who you seen at Pure Poetry
Yeah.
Live.
Going nuts.
You know what I mean? So
12 years.
you know what I mean? Sometimes it's tapping the people around you.
Right.
So I would say, you know, seeing the vision, writing it down so you can see it every day, and taking account to your circle who can grow with you in this thing. And then it's jumping. It's taking that first risk. I got into hosting. My big bro, Just Me, shout out to Just Me.
Hey.
He literally said, "Yo, you should host. You got like you got you should host." And I was like, "Okay." I just started memorizing poems. Let's let's
slow it down.
Let's walk with this thing, bro. You trying to have me run?
Right.
He was like, "Nah, yeah, you should host." Yo, a week later, he tagged me in a flyer on Facebook with me hosting. We didn't talk about, yeah, I'm gonna do this, Joan, you gonna host. Like, that was my push. You know what I mean? So in business, in your vision, in your baby, your dream, your thing you really want to do, it goes from the seeing it, writing it down, aligning yourself. Now you got to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Now you got to just jump and go and fail fast and early. You know what I mean? A lot of people are scared to fail. And I try to fail as fast as I can because you don't learn anything when you win. You learn when you fail. You learn when you mess it up. You know what I mean? So for years, I felt like I wasn't really on a lot of people's radar or whatnot. And I never felt the way about that because when you're underrated, there's so much value in that. You know what I mean? You can fail fast and early without it really making a splash or, you know what I mean? If I fail now, you gonna know, like, oh, we went to the show and it was, you know what I mean? But back then, it's like, okay, we're gonna fix this, do this a little better, do this. So, you know, and to anyone listening, yo, if you feel like you're underestimated, like, there's so much energy and value in that because you can try new things. You can do so much things under the radar, under people's noses, and work at it and get better and come back with it.
So look, right, we got these segments, right? Standing segments that we don't never know when they coming up or not.
All right.
We let the guests take us there. And I think that you've taken us there to this one segment. Yeah, but why?
Okay.
All right. So the importance of this segment is that people say things all the time. And everybody understands them intuitively, but sometimes people don't speak them out, right? We know that you learn more by failing than you do by winning, because when you win, you happy. You just go repeat what you did, right? You may not even know what you did that make you win.
Exactly.
Right? But tell us, what do you mean? Get real specific. Why is failing the thing that teaches you?
Okay. So for instance, early on in my career, before I was hosting and, you know, set up the Pure Poetry, as a poet, I felt like, man, not really consistently getting booked. And it was like, why? And I could have taken the easy route and been like, well, you know, maybe these people just not rocking with me. But I started to look at video of myself and it was like, it's because you don't think you're dope. You're just going through the motions. You know what I mean? It's because you don't think you're dope. So the no's allow me to look within. So that's why, and then failure, it was like, okay, you don't have nobody to look to for the, look at what you've done, compare it, look at it, take notes, get better, implement that. And then, you know, I cleaned some stuff up, like not pausing for 30 seconds in between lines on the poem, getting sharper with my delivery, stage presence, No more ands like as I'm doing the piece. No more reading from my phone. Um, things of that nature. And then I started to get booked more. And then in business, it's important to fail because those are going to scale your metrics. For instance, doing this event at a bar / restaurant that allows people in the bar or restaurant to take part of your event. I learned that for me, that's not what I want to do. And it had to fail so I can check that off the things that the business may do. You know what I mean? So just different business models, different ideas. It's important for you to try it so you can get the data after, because data really is king in this thing too. Data is key.
Data, scale, metrics for our writers.
Absolutely.
Just a little bit specific on that.
So data, scale, and metrics. So stuff like, what is the demographic of the patrons that,
what kind
rock
of
with
people
you?
are
So
coming?
you're actually taking note of all of these things.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. How many people came? Did people, did they buy more of this particular drink? Maybe we need to have more of that. Did they buy more of this particular food? We need to have more of that. Was there something they went to get that was unavailable? And feedback about the experience. Certain venues you'd like to work, but maybe sometimes don't work. Such and such was sitting in the back and the pillar in the middle, obstructed about 30, 40 people's view. That's something you need to know. So scale, metrics, and data. And then the scaling part, again, how many people came? Did you run out of things? Were there enough plates? Were there enough seats?
Right.
All of those things help you make a more informed decision the next time you run that play or do that event.
Orville, Red, and Baca.
Yeah.
Let's go. He popping.
Yeah. So that's a little bit, little stuff to take into account.
Okay. Bet. So, I love everything you're saying about like the processes of this, because it's so needed and necessary with everybody trying to throw an event all the time.
Yeah.
People be trying to curate like left and right.
Listen.
It's crazy. So like, what is the biggest lesson you've learned? Because I noticed that you've changed venues. What is the biggest lesson that you've learned between changing venues and going this long?
Man, that's not a one phrase thing, but I would say trust in your ideas. Trust in your ideas. Early on, it's like I think I kind of, and then, because if you don't trust them and you share them, watch somebody do them in your face. See what I'm saying?
Talk about it.
So trust your ideas. You know what I mean? It was given to you for a reason. But, if you don't use it, you'll lose it. So trust your ideas.
Okay.
And also, the quicker you get to simplifying this process, the better you'll be, right? Get from thought to action. The quicker you do the thought to the action part, the better you'll be and the more longevity you'll have. Because a lot of people, how many ideas do we got right now in our phones and our journals and our notebooks? And you ain't do it.
Facts.
Right.
Yo, the more I saw my stuff grow is when I started doing thought, right, done. Yeah.
Okay.
The simpler you make that process, the quicker you do that, the more longevity you'll have.
So you mentioned, I love what you said. Like you was like, yo, this venue got people coming in that's just going to eat. They, I don't like that. That don't feel good to me. I'm not making as much money as I should be making. I want everybody that come in here to be coming in here for my joint. And then they buy food and drink secondary. Tell us though, like, how do you work with the venue? Like, whatever venues you pick, what are things you look for within them? What are like some of your keys of like you gotta let me do this and that, or I won't book with you? Like,
Well, one of the things I look for is, you know, reputation means a lot too. And,
Mm-hmm.
specifically, I like to first work with us. So first I'm looking for black owned. Um, so, Society where we had the event, black owned, Karma where we're at now,
Yeah.
black owned.
Okay.
So that's important to us. Secondly is, you get what you negotiate. You know what I mean? So one, if you don't know what you're asking for, then chances are you might not meet the desired result in negotiation. Right? So first you have to know what you're looking for. And then you have to do a real look at what you've done and is that feasible? You know what I mean? Like you can't go in there and be like, all right, FedEx Field. Yup, let's go. So we
Right.
want to do poetry here. And yeah, I need this section to have this, next
Right.
section to have that. Yeah. And they're going to be like, cool. What proof can you give us, to
Right.
show us that, you can fill this joint up?
Yeah.
If you don't have nothing to show, it's a
Right.
no-go. So it's the same thing with these different venues. And I've been blessed with, kind of seeing the future before it. And my business partner seeing the same thing. That's why, if a venue's like, hey, so what can you show us that you're gonna, oh well, here's what we've done.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, well, okay. So a one-sheeter, all the data, like how many people have attended your event, how many events you've done,
Mm-hmm.
what were the metrics to the printout, like how much food did you sell, like those things matter when you're going to different venues and places.
So who on your team, and also what do y'all, so because it seems to me like at the end of the event you be like, yo, what did y'all sell tonight?
Oh well, so that's something that, as a again, as a independent business, that's something that I think is very important for anyone that is throwing an event at any business to the venue has to agree to a printout of what you've done for the night.
Mm.
Even if you aren't getting a split of that, like it's important for you to know what your IP, intellectual property, the thing you threw here, did in this establishment.
Now put a pin in that real quick, because how many people out there asking for a printout at y'all venues about what y'all making, about what's happened,
I'm not,
about what's happening in that venue? All y'all asking these questions, all y'all checking these numbers. Put a pin in it. Come on, Orville. Let's go. Continue. I'm sorry.
I'm sick because I'm thinking about it like, man.
I just needed people to understand that.
No, and this is why information is so powerful because,
Facts.
the more you know, the more you know.
Right.
And the more you know, the more you can make a better, your next decision, your better decision.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, yeah, that's something I think that's important.
Now, this is just me. I'm just random, yo. How many wings y'all selling? Y'all selling mad wings? If the people coming to your spot eating mad wings or
man,
what?
they eat mad wings. So shout out to our caterers,
Yeah.
7-Star Wings and Rush Hour Catering, and they both got chicken and wings. And yeah, they both be selling out, bro.
Mad wings.
They
Mad
sell out every
wings.
time.
Mad wings, bro. Jerk wings, honey barbecue wings, mumbo sauce wings.
Go down the list.
Now tell me
I'm
this.
getting hungry, but I might need to get some wings when we leave.
Hey, you definitely do. So look, let me ask you this question, man. If you can go back to one of the venues, maybe go to the first one, whatever one you're not in deal with right now.
Mhm.
Because the way you talking is like people who have done it before could benefit from this. But take me to like your first deal. What is your first deal or like your third one looking like with a venue?
So that's a great question, and this is key too. My first deal was a good deal, but in the grand scheme of things, my least deal, if that makes sense. So my first was I only got paid if the club did a certain number at the bar, right? Which, again, talking about scaling, early on, if I knew that, if I was in it and could already know and scale what it is I'm going to do, that would great deal, right? But I knew that I don't care what the deal is. I'm finna do this because I need to get in here and learn, and I want to do it, and it doesn't matter what happens. I'm gonna keep doing it.
Right.
And so early on, it wasn't packed. So the bar, if it didn't make that number, I had to make the number out my pocket. So for the first about 2 years, the event was free. Remember what I just told you? The event was free. So I'm not getting anything from the door. I'm just eating if the bar makes it to a certain point. Oftentimes, the bar did not, bro. For the first really 2 years, I was paying out of my pocket. I was pretty much paying to have the event. But I knew that if I continue and I gave people something they could trust that is going to be good, something worth your time when you came, that they'll be willing to patronize it and support it in a real way. So I was willing to bet that much on me. Like my checks, like every other money I was getting, I really bet it all on me and the team. So absolutely.
That's powerful.
And just for clarity, your event is monthly?
So we do a few things monthly. Our open mic at Karma is monthly. We do a monthly back to basics, but that may be changing. There's a lot of things we're gonna be doing different next year. Man, we've listened to the community, and the community said do some more stuff. It was like, well, okay, we might do some more stuff.
Yeah.
We did something very different this year already. We had Chris Brown and Money Long at the July event. That was, if you was there, shout out to y'all. There was a lot of Be More folk in the building. Man, Be More shows a lot of love to DC. DC tried to show that love right back. That was a phenomenal night, though.
We're going to slide up there for a
Chris Brown, yo, he really is one of those ones.
Now talk about that process and get into that. First of all, how did you feel?
Man.
Like getting that news and knowing that you could like say something like this to your audience.
Man, first of all, it took, shout out again to my business partners, Lance and Tim. It took a lot of consistent work on their parts and our parts as well to get that done. But it felt amazing. We had to sit on that. First and foremost, in business too, we got to learn to not say anything until the thing happens. I think a lot of times we try to like, hey, guess what I'm about to do? Nah, don't say nothing. Just go do it, and then you could talk about it after.
Yeah.
So we sat on it and let it go, and man, the community came out crazy.
Yeah.
Money Long, super down to earth, super cool. Chris Brown, super chill. Man, it was great to see them in their element, and for people that love spoken word and also love R&B to be in the same space and be able to really see their somebody to look up to up close and personal. Just the mixing pot of those two communities and networks and artist forms and artistries all combining. Shit was crazy.
Now that's a big deal. So unfortunately I wasn't there. I wish I could have been there. But did they sing or were they just there? They were just
Nah, so they was just tooling. They were just cooling. They were just cooling.
So I mean, that first of all, it's like you are transforming the way poetry is being seen and appreciated, and how business for poetry can look. Because who would have thought that an R&B artist would show up to a poetry event just to chill and cool out? So, like, first of all, big kudos and congratulations on that. I don't think I've seen
Thank you.
anybody do some things like that. So that's powerful in itself to have. And then big Chris Brown. I mean, people will be throwing everything on the stage for Chris Brown.
It was.
So, and Money Long, she's coming out here killing.
Bruh. Chris Brown got a different type of fandom.
Yeah.
like when he came in, it was like, for like 10 minutes. For like 10 minutes, bro. It was crazy. But nah, he super talented dude, man. He was over there dancing. It was like, yo, he really moved like water in real life. Smooth dude.
Now, this is a big question that I always want to ask because curators are always so worried about artists being in the building. But you can't get to a capacity you are at just from, in my opinion, just with artists. So who are you catering to?
There you go.
When you're thinking about curating, are you worried about the artist, or is it about the people?
You're saying worried about the artist?
You know, you go
the
to
artist. So it's an open mic, and you're curating open mic, and everybody's so worried about, we need all of these artists to be in the building. But I don't really think, like I said again, in my personal opinion, artists will show when the people are there. You know what I mean? So
you said it. You said it. Artists will show when the people are there because.
So how do you cater to your people, and what do you get that? Because I think a lot of curators also have that twisted. But again, want them to hear it from the guru, the king, you know what I mean, sensei.
Well, I think that so one, we're curating to lovers of art, people that want to maybe be outside but not really outside.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Because outside comes with some different complexities. So we're catering to, if you want to be outside, have a good time, here's something that you'll be entertained by, but still be able to take something home with you. And, sprinkle a little ratchet in there, you know what I mean? A little turn up, but not too much. You know what I mean? For the times where, we can't ignore the different layers of who we are, of who the Black experience is. You know what I mean? So that's pretty much who we're catering to.
Okay. And how do you appeal to these people?
So, one, by having different layers of your experience. You know what I mean? That could be done in a myriad of ways. Your marketing, different things you have in and a part of the show. But I think a big part of it is just really who's meeting the people that are coming to patronize your business. And that's why I go back to the team. When you first come into a spot, when you're first greeted, that means a lot. If I go to a spot and immediately, what? Okay, no, I don't have to be here. I'm going to leave. You know what I mean? So I think that gets you in the mode of having a good time if you're treated well before you even enter the building. You know what I mean? If your process is smooth and comfortable and inviting outside, then you're ready to be, full joy, whatever's going on inside.
Yeah, and I think you do that very well for your artists that you invite out too. I've heard a lot of great things about how you treat your artists, even as being an artist there myself.
Thank you.
I was very well pleased about the treatment and just the consistency, how y'all welcome me in, or just making sure I'm good. E-Baby, come check on me. People just, Rebecca DePass has also spoken highly of your treatment. So, I mean, y'all cater, and that's a pretty big deal.
We try, and I'm an artist too. You know what I mean? So I think about like, man, how would I want to be? And that's what we try to do. You know what I mean? So absolutely.
Now, I want to ask 2 questions. You got a question?
Let's rock with yours.
All right. So what is the
This
hardest?
could be a 10-hour interview. Messing
I
with
know
you.
we
So
running
I'm gonna let
low.
you-
We
yeah.
running low on time. But I do want to know what's the hardest part about being a curator and an artist. Is it anything hard about it?
I would say just learning when you're gonna have to turn one on or off, or knowing that in some situations you got to be 70% artist and 20% CEO or business guy, or curator. Yeah, that's really it. Because in business, I had to turn off the worker and hire the CEO in me. You know what I mean? Because I'm so used to, I'll be at the door. I'll go put the table up with the chairs. I'll go talk to the nah. But you got to delegate. You know what I mean? So for me, that was maybe one of the hardest things because I like to be really hands on. There is no, real ego. I'll go do whatever because I'm about the end goal. I'm about the mission, the vision. And again, literally everyone on the team is like that. I can ask anyone to do anything because everyone knows that anyone else will do it. You know what I mean? So
Do you like any version more than the other? Do you like the curator more than the artist, or the artist more than the curator?
I think I like both equally now. I used to like being an artist more than the curator, but now it's very equal. One of the best feelings I have is seeing people on stage and like, yo, I love being up here. Like they rocking with me. I done got my rocks off. I done killed it. Like, look, and just like really them embracing that moment. That's one of the best feelings. I'm thinking about you when I'm saying that moment. You was up there like running back in the whole, running back. I was like, yo, look at this right here. That feels like, that feels like hitting a 3. That feels like hitting the game winner.
From past half court.
That's the same,
Yeah. But again, thank you for that moment. We appreciate
Absolutely.
you so much
Absolutely.
for that. Now, the last one I wanted to ask is sometimes when we get into these interviews and we're asked questions, sometimes the question or the thing you really wanted to talk about, nobody asked you. You know what I'm saying? So they like, man, I spent this whole time talking. I ain't even get to say what I really want to say.
Right.
Is there a question or a question that you've always wanted to been asked, or something that you've always wanted to just say to the people? Or
let me see. Nothing comes to mind off jump, but I would say maybe parting words or like stuff artists could take. There's a quote, I don't know who said it, but it's a quote that says, why not go out on a limb? That's where all the fruits are.
Just run it back one more time.
Orville, Red, and Baca.
Why not go out on a limb? That's where all the fruits are. And I didn't know poetry was going to be my whole life, like a big part of my life, when I decided to go out on a limb. But I saw that's where all the fruits was. And, I got to a point where I was hungry. So it was like, I need to go out on a limb. Because if I don't go out on a limb, I'm going to keep hanging with them. And that ain't doing nothing for me either. So, man, I really changed my life before I started doing art. I was involved in some things I'm, ashamed to even mention. And when I started like really focusing my energy on the art, man, literally my life changed. Literally who I was hanging around changed. Literally the things I got excited about and didn't get excited about changed. So there's another quote that Kariga says a lot. When I started to shift the things to look at. No, hold on, how's it go? if you change the way you look at things, the things you look at will start to change.
If you change the way you look at things,
The things you look at will start to change.
wow.
And change, because before poetry, man, it was going a different way. Yeah, absolutely. You know, a lot of my relatives, friends and family either got deported or jail or, got into some stuff. You know what I mean? So again, really changed my life. Like, I want to do art. I want to do something positive. And yeah, that's what I've been on. That's what I'm on. And every time you see me here with a microphone, talking poetry, art, anything, I'm paying homage to my teenage self and to my mom, who was first and foremost a driving force in my art and a lot of the things I've accomplished thus far. So absolutely, absolutely, and Daz, and shout out to Daz too. Absolutely, yeah.
Man, I know we're gonna have you back, man. Might have you do a little master class or something because
For real.
I got 50 more questions. I know you got some great answers that even bring more questions.
Well, you know what you could do though? You could bring it up at tea time. You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
my goodness.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? I mean, that's
digging
perfect.
that.
Perfect
Might have
time.
to-
You know what I mean? You can catch us, what was that, the 22nd?
That's gonna be, the 22nd
You know,
August, 8 p.m. at
Right.
MRI Studios,
Right.
20 North Howard.
uh-huh.
Nice and intimate, where if
Right.
you really been trying to get the Orville, but he be all the way up on stage and you got there late, so you sit in the back, you get close up on him
You
on
get
Thursday.
close up on him, touch him, and talk to him for real. And
Well,
he's going to give
make
us...
sure he wants you to touch him first.
Yeah, well, yeah, ask his permission and all. But I'm saying, you good little arms with, like 6 feet. You know what I'm saying? But you could ask him anything you would like. You're going to see this intimate collection of this guy's work and hear how he really works. And I can't wait to sip some tea with you, bro. Share some tea.
And I love tea too.
I
need that peppermint.
That's your kind?
Peppermint, that's my tea.
We gonna make sure we got peppermint in the building.
Yeah.
So man, for everybody who be watching this joint, man, what do you want them to go and patronize? Like, what's the books you got out still? What's the next event besides Tea Time with Truth? Like,
Got you. So check me out everywhere, Orville the Poet, on social media, and the business Pure Poetry Live on social media, all social media. The next show is September 5th at Karma Lounge in DC, right by Echo Soundstage. Doors open at 6:30. Show starts at 7:45, 8 o'clock, and goes to 10. But then we have an after party directly after, which everyone, you're already in the building, you're good to go. You're free for. You know what I mean? And even if you wasn't in the building, the after party is free for, you might have somebody who was at work who wanted to still come through and hang out at 10 o'clock. You come through, it's free.
Free after party, yo. You can't miss it.
Yeah, and it's food and all of that stuff. Food, drinks.
Jerk, honey, wing.
Bro, it's
about you hungry.
Bro, it's bomb, bro. I'm not gonna hold you.
It's a great time. It's a great time.
Yeah. And I have fun with it. Also, we didn't talk about that. You gotta have fun.
That part.
With doing this.
Yeah.
If you get to a place where it's so taxing, you can't enjoy it, then you should step away from it for a little bit. But I'm having a ball and a blast with it. There's nothing more I enjoy than, doing what I love with people I love too. So
that's love.
Yeah.
That's love.
Definitely have fun with it.
Well, look, man, we appreciate your time.
Absolutely.
Thank y'all for having me. Thank y'all for having me.
Yes.
Big pleasure and honor to have you here. We glad you made this choice. We are glad you chose poetry. We are glad that you chose art.
Yes.
We are
Yeah.
thankful and grateful for the platform that you put a plethora of artists on, and for the space, the safe space.
Yeah.
That you give for tons of people to just come and enjoy and receive a word and have a good time.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah.
So look, Y'all got to share this one, man. This
Yeah.
I feel like we getting better and better each time.
Uh-huh.
And there's no better way to end the season.
Yeah, absolutely.
So writers,
And-
readers, and in-betweeners, I'm gonna let Truth take y'all out. Y'all know what it is. Polish your piece. What you gonna tell them?
Y'all know what it is. I just need all and everyone to remember that you're a work of art. So keep working your art to only masterpiece. We love y'all. Y'all take it easy. Yeah.